Hello, friends. I'm writer director C.S.Nag with Indian Renaissance. And in today's episode number 6, I will talk about India's cricket century. Very few of you may know that the game of cricket began as a harvest pastime among farmers in the city of Kent in England. They used a curved stick to pluck the fruit from the trees, and the first cricket bat looked more like a hockey stick. It took more than 100 years for the flat bat, the 3 wickets, and the first rules of the game with the use of an umpire to come into fashion. The first Test cricket series was later played between England and Australia at the MCG in Melbourne, with Australia winning the first test by 4 wickets and England winning the second by 45 runs to level the series. And thus was born the oldest rivalry in Test cricket. It came to a fever pitch 5 years later in 1882 when Australia toured England, and on a rain-affected wicket, Spofford took 14 wickets to send England crashing to their lowest total of 101 and 77. And the English press was quick to announce the death of English cricket, which they cremated and collected the ashes of it in an urn, which is preserved to this day. The Barmy Army was ready to party.
In 1877, long before Britain's Brexit, French croquet gave way to English cricket. As the game spread like fire to the colonies, the Ashes gave rise to fierce rivalries. In the age of Grace and Ranji, Test cricket created quite a stir, a frenzy. Between the balls that required an army, Larwood's body line against Bradman drove Brits Barmy. Hey ho, here we go. The Barmy Army is high and low. English cricket is quite a show. Hobbs' job fell to Compton and Hutton. All batsmen to Tyson and Truman were mutton. As the world entered the machine age, the game was played on a global stage. A class act were Gravely and Cowdrey. Barrington and Edridge were on a run spree. Titmuss and Underwood could turn the key. Boycott and Gregg could spoil your show. If there was no rain, there was snow. Hey ho, here we go. The Barmy Army is high and low. English cricket is quite a show. The game became more complex with Brearley. Randall, Gower and Botham could make you pay dearly. Willis and Old hunted in pairs. Gooch and Gatting could give you nightmares. The fun was back with Stewart and Peterson. Ready to strike were Flintoff and Anderson. Vaughan and Hussain won back the Ashes. Harbison and Gough gave them lashes. Hey ho, here we go. The Barmy Army is high and low. English cricket is quite a show. With T20, the game has taken new route. If the shoe doesn't fit, try the boot. Can Butler serve to save the Barmy Army? Even English summers can be quite stormy. Hey ho, here we go. The Barmy Army is high and low. English cricket is quite a show.
South Africa joined England and Australia, and the ICC was formed in 1909. Then it was New Zealand and West Indies, and India became the sixth country to join in 1926. The ICC today counts 104 countries as members, with 12 full members and 92 associate members. But back in the days when Australia and England dominated cricket, the rise of Sir Donald Bradman, acknowledged as the greatest batsman in the history of the game, saw the rise of Australia riding high on the exploits of Bradman's boys like the kangaroos on the hop.
No, I've never started out to break any record, and I try and get as many runs as I possibly can.
Hail to cricket's greatest icon, the man they call Sir Don. He broke all records for all time. Today's cheap clones are a nickel and dime. An average of 100 is not a joke. He was the fire. What's left is smoke. Showbiz glitter is not built to last. Sir Don's glory is a blast from the past. Watch them go like a kangaroo on their hop. Runs and wickets without a stop. Bradman's boys are the cream of the crop. He had every shot, he wrote the book. Read line and length with just a look. There was no way to get him out. They all tried and faced a rout. His flurry of runs came at such speed. It was a stampede you just couldn't read. The Wizards of Oz were Brothers Chapel. Quick runs came with a deadly spell. Watch them go like a kangaroo on the hop. Runs and wickets without a stop. Bradman's boys are the cream of the crop. Lindwall, Miller, Thompson and Lilly, Titmus, Vaughan, O'Reilly could make you silly. Border, Waugh, Hayden and Gilly, Ponting, Clark and Smith hot as chili. Cricket became crazy as Mad Max. They struck with wood like an axe. Bradman's boys are still on the run. Cricket has never been so much fun. Watch them go like a kangaroo on the hop. Runs and wickets without a stop. Bradman's boys are the cream of the crop.
The West Indies were feared for three W's: Worrell, Weekes and Walcott, and their fast bowlers Hall and Griffith. And then there was Gary Sobers, the greatest all-rounder in the history of cricket.
When it comes to the game of cricket, he was the greatest on any wicket, a complete master of the game. History was written in his name. Hail to the one and only Gary Sobers. He broke every record in its covers. Like Ali and Pele, he was the king who had no equal in the ring. Sobers, he was a one-man team. Sobers, he played it like a dream. Sobers, he was the fittest, he was the noblest, the greatest of all. He carried his bat like a hammer to knock the stuffing out of leather. He had his rivals on the run, making big scores and having fun. Rain or shine, he was on top, taking it full or on the hop. It didn't matter what you heard. When he got going, sails unfurled. When it came time to bowl, he was always on a roll, getting you dizzy with pace and swing, making you dance to his spin. Sobers, he was a one-man team. Sobers, he played it like a dream. Sobers, he was the fittest, he was the noblest, the greatest of all. His googly to you was a Chinaman, and armor could be a Yorker. Once he got into his spell, the wickets like ninepins fell. In the field, he had no match in getting you out with a great catch, or keep you scoreless like a flop, and run you out with a stop. A champion he was, a one-man team. Watching him play was like a dream. Hail to the one and only Sobers. He broke every record in its covers. Sobers, he was a one-man team. Sobers, he played it like a dream. Sobers, he was the fittest, he was the noblest, the greatest of all.
And that will just carry. No, it's going to be out. Go down. No. And he's done it. He's done it. And
After gaining Test status in 1926, India went to England to play its first ever cricket test at Lord's, which England won by 158 runs. Thanks to a captain's knock by Douglas Jardine, who scored 79 and 85. And India's captain C.K.Nag responded with a knock of 40, and Mohammad Nisar's 5 wickets did not help India much in a lost cause. India had to wait another 20 years to record its first test victory, which came in 1952 in Chennai, when Vijay Hazare's star-studded Indian team paid back the English by beating them by an innings in which Hazare's captain's innings of a century and Vinu Mankad's exploits with the ball as a spinner made India proud. And Hazare's team was hailed as giant killers. In its first 50 years of Test cricket, India won only 35 out of 196 tests, to be dismissed by its critics as dullards of Test cricket, only interested in forcing draw after draw. But all this changed in a hurry when Tiger Pataudi was forced to take over India's captaincy as a result of a dreadful injury to Dari Contractor on the tour of West Indies. Pataudi became the youngest ever Indian captain at the age of 21. He had already scored a century to stake his claims as a batsman of repute. in the first home series victory over England in Chepauk in 1962. Pataudi led India to its first ever series victory abroad over New Zealand in 1968. And the Indian team was ready to reach higher. When Pataudi's deputy, the vice captain Ajit Wadekar, was made captain for the West Indies tour in 1971, it raised a lot of eyebrows. But Wadekar did the impossible by winning consecutive series abroad against the mighty West Indies team of Gary Sobers, boasting such legends as Sobers, Kanhai, Gibbs, Lloyd, Fredericks, Vanburn, Holder, and Keith Boyce, and others, Charlie Davis. Wadekar's team then went on to beat England in a very close fought series, a team that was led by Illingworth and included John Snow and Edridge and all the established English cricketers. Thanks to the deadly spin bowling of India's famous spin quartet, which had done the job in West Indies, Bedi, Prasanna, Chandrasekhar, whose match-winning spell of 6 for 38 will be remembered for a long time, and Venkatraghavan. The record-breaking exploits of Gavaskar, Sardesai, with help from newcomers like Ashok Mankad and Vishwanath, made them national heroes. I was a student of matric at the time and was among the 10,000 strong crowd of supporters that showed up at the airport to receive the cricket team as national heroes. There were about 2 billion people lined up on the streets cheering the motorcade in which the cricketers travelled from the airport to Brabant Stadium, where the mayor of Bombay, Hebu Gupte, had organized a euphoric reception at which the whole stadium was jam-packed with the who's who of the city's glitterati. It was the age of the little masters, Sunny and Vishy, who had captured the hearts and minds of cricket lovers not only in India but all over the world. It was also the best period of my life as a sports writer, as I began my career with Sports Week, Midday, and then Indian Express.
Back in the age of the little masters, there were no match fixers or sportscasters, no action replays or DRS to blame. Cricket was still a gentleman's game, played for fun and for glory, full of chivalry. What a story! Hoary traditions from old times of grace, when princes and maharajas ruled the race. Olden days were golden days. Little masters had their ways. Everything was bright like the sun's rays. Nothing gold, alas, ever stays. In the days of all-time greats, no one cared for runs or over rates. When the likes of Ranji and Naidu got going, runs came so fast it was like rain pouring. With independence, our flag was aflutter. From Maidans to stadiums, the game was a glitter. Merchant Hazare, Amarnath and Umrika, Manjrekar, Mankat, Pataudi and Wadekar. Olden days were golden days. Little masters had their ways. Everything was bright like the sun's rays. Nothing gold, alas, ever stays. A golden age with victories at home and abroad. The little masters answered every prayer to God. Without helmets, fighting fire in Babylon. Beating pace with sprint, the game was won. History repeated in England later. Sunny and Rishi together were greater. Along came Kapil's devils, who were no tramps. The World Cup was ours. We were the champs. Olden days were golden days. Little masters had their ways. Everything was bright like the sun's rays. Nothing gold, alas, ever stays.
The golden 70s were also the era of disco music, bell bottoms, and I remember westerns at the Strand Cinema where McKenna's Gold ran for a record 52 weeks. And we all celebrated in style as beer, a bottle, cost 3 rupees and chicken biryani at the Olympia was rupees 250 a plate. The advent of Kapil's Devils took India's cricket to new heights of glory as they took on Clive Lloyd's mighty West Indians in the final of the World Cup in England. Lloyd's team was looking for their third straight victory in the World Cup final, and no one had given Kapil's Devils any chance at all against the West Indians, boasting such players as Lloyd and Richards and Kalicharan and Collis King and Greenwich and Fredericks and Boyce and Julian. Dismissed for a very low score of 183, Kapil and his medium pacers still managed to get the better of the West Indians on a very good wicket to script one of the greatest upsets in World Cup cricket history. A new chapter in Indian cricket was written by the Haryana Hurricane, in which impossible was nothing and winning was everything.
The god of Indian cricket was Kapil Dev. A fearless hero, he was so brave. Unstoppable he was, the Haryana Hurricane. With bat or ball, he could drive you insane. He was the spark that lit the flame, made our fortunes shine with his game. Nothing was dull, he was so bright. Watching him play was an utter delight. Kapil the Great was a man of fate. In a hurry to win, he just couldn't wait. He made it look easy and full of fun. He was a big hit on the run. With pace and seam, he made wickets tumble. He never gave up, was always on the rumble. Nothing was impossible. He was a miracle. He was full of wisdom, spoke like an oracle. Humble and honest, he was full of grace. Friends and foes, he was ready to embrace. Kapil the Great was a man of faith. In a hurry to win, he just couldn't wait. He changed our image from losers to winners, from sulking bores to joyful swingers. Kapil's Devils knew all the tricks. Winning the World Cup, they broke the jinx. Kapil the Great remains an icon today. To all master blasters, he showed the way. A real strong trooper was the Haryana Hurricane, with bat or ball, faster than a bullet train. Kapil the Great was a man of fate. In a hurry to win, he just couldn't wait.
It was my privilege as sports editor at Ovad Observer to help arrange the first ever international cricket match in Muscat between Kapil's Devils, the same World Cup winning team with Gavaskar, Vengsakar and Mohinder Amarnath and all the others, for the benefit of Sanjay Majrekar's family, who had just lost his father Vijay Majrekar. It was helped organized by Kanaksi Khimchi, a local tycoon who was a classmate of Vijay Majrekar. And it became the series of 3 matches that were played at the police stadium in Vataye became the role model for all cricket development in the Gulf, thereafter in Sharjah and Abu Dhabi. The rise of the wonder boy of Indian cricket, Sachin Tendulkar, took the boys in blue to dizzy new heights of superstardom as they won the Champions Trophy, a second World Cup at home in Mumbai in 2011, and the T20 inaugural World Cup before that in 2007 in Johannesburg.
Rolling stones may gather no moss. The game of cricket is not just gloss. We've had a share of little masters. Now it's time for the master blaster. Watch him take guard like a man in charge. If you're thinking of a score, make it rather large. When he's off to a flyer right from the start, you better say your prayers and play real smart. Master blaster, clocks go faster. Keep the master, watch him master. As his bat comes down like a hammer with hit, see the field scatter as if they have fit. Don't blame the bowlers, it's not their fault. There's just no way to stop his assault. See how they duck, see how they run. His shots come flying like bullets on a gun. He cuts and pulls and sweeps, how's that? He hooks and drives from the middle of the bat. Master blaster, clock go faster. Keep the master, watch him blaster. He makes it look easy like bread and jam. The bowler looks helpless like a child in a pram. His score keeps growing by leaps and bounds. as the thump 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 of his willow sound. Pace or spin they may try to command, the call from fans is a fix on demand, as they hurl the cherry with a groan and a grunt. No rival is spared his leather hunt. Master Blaster, Classical Master, he's the master, watch him blaster. No record is safe, they've all been broken, they've called him the greatest, they've all spoken. Watching him bat, even clocks go faster. Take off your hat to the Master Blaster. Sachin and Dhoni are as good as money. Their fans sing their praises as sweet as honey. But there's a new kid on the block, and he's no phony. Say hip hip hooray to the new King Kohli. Master Blaster, clock go faster, he's the master. Watch him blaster. Who has say fans, who's the keeper? He'll ring your bell without a beeper. The sailing smooth with him and skipper. Dhoni the man keeps getting hipper. He's got style with a smile, hits the ball for a mile, gets quick runs in a chase, puts his rivals in a daze. Hipper skipper, he's a day tripper. He'll rock you, sock you, down to your zipper. Watching him play is a thrill. He spares nothing for a kill. Leads his troops from the front, makes every move and play count. Who can match his dizzy pace? He's got shoes without a lace. He keeps adding to his score. What's the crow? Try some more. Hipper skipper, he's a day tripper. He'll rock you, pop you down to your tripper. Forget the hoopla and the hype. Pluck the cherry when it's ripe. Ride your luck with a winner. Enjoy your dessert after dinner. Hail to the king of cricket, Dhoni. He's for real, he's no phony. Have no worry, have no fear. Raise your World Cup full of cheer. Hipper skipper, he's a day tripper. He'll rock you, sock you, down to your zipper.
With a new generation of Master Blasters, India is now poised to win in all three forms of the game, to emerge as the masters of the game.
Hail to cricket's new king, Virat. He's got the biggest, broadest bat. Like a juggernaut, he's on a roll. To make India number one is his goal. He's on a record-breaking spree. Every game to him is a jamboree. Every test he's passed, he's the best. Even in limited overs, he doesn't take a rest. Hey ho, here we go. Virat's the man. Catch him if you can. He does things that no one can. Success to him is a song. He can't do anything wrong. He gets everything figured right. He's on course like a rocket in flight. Nothing gets past him in the field. He's as reliable as a shield. He's ready to race the clock, break records with every knock. Hey ho, here we go. Virat's the man. Catch him if you can. He does things that no one can. His fashion sense may be bizarre, but there's no doubt he's a star. He's got himself a new babushka, a Bollywood starlet called Anushka. Hail to the new King Virat. He needs no cap, turban or hat. He knows where it's at. He has a very level head, plenty of dough to make bread. Hey ho, here we go. Virat's the man. Catch him if you can. He does things that no one can.
They have a formidable record As of now, in 550 test matches, they have a win-loss record of 161 victories to 169 losses. In ODIs, their win-loss record is 514 wins to 426 losses. And in T20s, it is 85 wins as against 45 losses. Very impressive, to say the least, making them hot favorites to annex the inaugural ICC Test Championship this year, for which they have made a very impressive start already with a series victory over Australia last year, and as we speak, they are ready, it seems, to wrap up the home series against England as well. Go for it, India. The nation is with you. Jai Hind. "400 years ago, in the woods in Kent, a stick to harvest fruit was bent. A farmer's job, for which it was meant, became a game they were to invent. Get ready for the cricket harvest. Let no bird fail to build its nest. There's no rest until you pass the test. It's a game to crown the best." Colonial cricket, both Tagore and his tiger learned to play. Gandhi and Nehru followed in Ranji's way. From palace to pitch came Prince Philip. It became the fashion for stars Dev, Raj and Dilip. Get ready for the cricket harvest. Let no bird fail to build its nest. There's no rest until you pass the test. It's a game to crown the best. Swinging a bat instead of his fists was Boxer Ali. Faster than bullet came Bolt, cricket's new bully. Getting with the beat were John and Paul of the Fab Four. When Kishore jumped in, who could ask for anything more? Get ready for the cricket harvest. Let no bird fail to build its nest. There's no rest until you pass the test. It's a game to crown the best. Who could deny Big B and Shah Rukh their fame? Even Salman and Amir took to the game. Irfan and Yusuf led Pathans on the rise. It was time for the whole Afghan army to get wise. Get ready for the cricket harvest. Let no bird fail to build its nest. There's no rest until you pass the test. It's a game to crown the best.